another thing. I think as the team is currently constructed, Maxi's not in the closing lineup. I think you're looking at a closing lineup of Luka, Reggie Bullock, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, and Porzingis. I think that's your closing unit. So if you're telling me that if Maxi's going to be on the bench for the last, 5 to 7 minutes of the game, I would much rather swing with a bench player for a 5 year younger Lauri Markkenen. And that's my thing, because I think Markkanen's upside, like Maxi's 29, Markkanen's 24. And I think as the 40% three-point shooter, he is super athletic. And what he could be, especially moving forward, playing with the Luka Doncic, we do this all the time. But what point guards has he played with in Chicago in his career? And it's like, what could he be with Luka Doncic? What could he be like how what's the percentage of him to KP? Is he 85% KP? Is he like, especially now because with KP's defense stuff, but that's before the first healthy offseason that's happening right now. What will be what
I'm gonna ding every time you do that. It's like a Pavlovian thing. I'm just gonna
what's the percentage he is of KP? I think that's one of the questions too. It just, for me, it comes down to 5 years younger than Maxi. I think his upside's higher than Maxi. I would take the swing with Markkanen.
See, this is where it's hard for me, because you start thinking, somebody asked a good question on Twitter, is what can Markkanen do that Maxi Kleber can't, and vice versa. So if you're just looking at, okay, what can this player bring for next season? Because a lot of people are frustrated because the Mavericks have not gotten better. We've talked a lot about how the Mavericks probably got 10% better with their free agency moves, and we wanted them to get 33%.
They definitely got better. They definitely got better.
For sure. No, what I'm saying, we've been talking about the Mavericks got 10% better. We wanted them to get 25, 33% better.
For sure.
Does Markkanen change that percentage any for next season? And that's kind of a big question for me, because you're going year to year and you're trying to figure out, does Lauri Markkenen change it for next season, or then 3 seasons from now, would he add anything? Would he increase the odds of the Mavericks winning a playoff series and eventually winning a title? And for me, it's hard to see the long-term benefits of a Lauri Markkinen, especially if you're going to keep Kristaps Porzingis. If they trade him, then with Lauri Markkinen, you have the same kind of positional difficulties. But I do understand going for a talent like this, a guy that can hit the three like he does, that can come off the bench and can score a little bit. But a couple of things these are reasons why I'm a little bit skeptical. For the first 3 years in Lauri Markkanen's career, he played 78% of his time at the 4. He played a lot with Wendell Carter Jr., with Robin Lopez, with Daniel Gafford, with Bobby Portis, with Cristiano Felicio. He played with all those guys, a bunch of minutes with those guys. And that's when he scored a bunch. When he was given the ball, he was playing against other 4s. He was scoring over them. And his first couple years there, so that 18-19 season, when he averaged just about 19 points a game. So that's the season you look at, you're like, okay, this guy can be a secondary scorer. He can be another scorer for you. He was shooting 6.3 field goal attempts per game on catch and shoot shots. And he was shooting about 3 pull-up shots a game. So he was creating a little bit on his own. He was catching shooting a lot, but
because he had to, he
was pulling up. This past year, his percentages all went up. His field goal percentage, his 3-point percentage went up to 40%, all that. His pull-up numbers were almost 0. So he went from 3 pull-up attempts per game to just about 0. And then 6 catch and shoot attempts per game, which is about the same as that one season. So he's only doing catch and shoot stuff. So he's being set up by other people as well. So you're not bringing him in with the idea that he can go and create his own offense and do all that, which is what the Mavericks wanted. They have a lot of these guys that can catch and shoot and do all that kind of stuff and have to be set up by somebody else. So just understand that he is not that type of guy. So that doesn't mean I don't want him. I'm just saying these are the things you have to think about. And last year, I talked about 78% his first 3 years at the 4. This past year, they moved into 51% of his time was at center. So he's playing center in these lineups when he's been more efficient and when he's been a player that you can see in a Mavericks lineup. So now all of a sudden, if he's a center, now you have 6 centers. Maybe you trade one of them for Lauri Markkinen. You have to now figure out how to play him with somebody else, with maybe one of those other centers, or you don't play one of those centers. It's hard positionally to fit him in, especially with Kristaps Porzingis right now. And so I'm not sure he's the greatest fit. However, I still, again, understand trading him, going for the upside, the younger, more talent, younger, all that stuff. I completely understand that, but I'm skeptical about Maxi. Now, if it's Dwight Powell and you're just doing Dwight Powell and Trey Burke for him, 100%, I'm with it. Go for it. Do it. I'm in it. If it's Dorian, if it's like Dwight Powell and Dorian, I'm even more skeptical of it, because then you're trading for a center with one of the few wings the Mavericks do have that would play and would be in a closing lineup, like Isaac mentioned. And so I'm even more leery of doing a deal like that. Doesn't mean I wouldn't do it, but at this point I'm still on the fence about it.